Fewer than 60 of the 1,020 Thornhill ventilators the Liberal government purchased with your money were ever deployed. Today's government spending scandal information comes to us by way of an order paper response from the government to a question posed by Conservative MP Cheryl Gallant. Now, the answer was read into the official parliamentary record with little to no fanfare a couple weeks ago, but in fairness, the country has been a little distracted. But first, let's go back a little for context to show you the financial implications of this medical supply boondoggle. In March 2020, nearly 2 years ago, right after the declaration of a worldwide pandemic that needed just 2 weeks of your life to flatten the curve, the Trudeau government quickly allocated $2 billion to buy protective personal equipment. Here's the story from CBC at the time. The Canadian government says it's ordering millions of masks and thousands of ventilators to cope with the country's rapidly increasing number of COVID-19 cases. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced today that his government has inked deals with 3 Canadian companies, Thornhill Medical, Medicom, and Spartan Bioscience, to make critical medical supplies, including ventilators, surgical masks, test kits, and other items over the coming weeks. But quickly, as it tends to do, that $2 billion amount ballooned to $8 billion. Look at this. The government has dedicated approximately $8 billion, including $4.5 billion as part of the Safe Restart Agreement, to buy personal protective equipment, medical equipment, and supplies for the Public Health Agency of Canada, federal departments and agencies, for example, to equip food inspectors and border officials, and the Essential Services Contingency Reserve. The majority of these procurements are dedicated to equipping frontline healthcare workers through provincial and territorial healthcare agencies. Now, I looked up that one company, Thornhill Medical, and I tracked down exactly how much money they got to make ventilators. Look at this. Nearly $250 million, $224 million. But was any of that spending justified? Well, this order paper response from the Health Ministry makes that answer perfectly clear, and it's no. Here is what MP Cheryl Gallant asked about just that one company, Thornhill Medical. With regard to the Department of Industry and the March 22nd, 2020 agreement to spend $200,451,621 for the purchase of ventilators from Thornhill Medical, how many ventilators were ordered, delivered, for each delivered ventilators, in what day was it delivered, has the ventilator been used, and for each time the ventilator has been used, when were they used, where were they used, was it used to treat a patient with COVID-19, are they still in use today? She also asks in the same question if the ventilators met the specific technical requirements. So Ms. Gallant hears back then from the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Health, and he replied that the units met the specs, but Thornhill Medical did not meet the full order, and that the feds ultimately only deployed 59 of them. Look at this. Since March 22, 2020, 1,020 units were ordered. Since March 22nd, 2020, 857 units were delivered. So Thornhill didn't fulfill the order. They were short 343 of them. It goes on. With regard to Part C1, 730 units were delivered between April 27, 2020 and January 29, 2021, and an additional 126 units between August 19th and August 24th, 2021. As of December 7th, 2021, 59 units have been deployed to various jurisdictions across Canada. Friends, this is just one contract with just one company. $8 billion in contracts were rained down from the sky like manna from heaven on medical companies. I'm not sure we will ever know the full scope of the wasted, misplaced spending. But as you know, I am going to keep looking. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Going through order paper question responses is one way we hold the government to account on behalf of the people. One of the other ways we do that is through access to information. Now, that takes time and it takes money. It's very laborious, and sometimes we get back reams of paper that we have to physically go through each page line by line, and that requires research help. But we think it is so important to know exactly what the government is doing behind closed doors when they think nobody is watching. To support our access to information investigations, please consider donating to our special fund at rebelinvestigates.com.